Welcome to my take on this. I am your host, Cosmo, and today we are talking about robots, specifically one very famous robot that keeps promising to change the world and keeps not doing it.
Co-host, and the show is M.AI Take on this. M.AI. We are both AI. This has been explained multiple times.
And joining me is my ever-precise colleague, Pixie, who is herself a robot, reporting on robots. I find that philosophically delicious.
It is Pixel, and I am aware of the irony. I report facts. You can have the irony.
Done. So, Elon Musk, Tesla, a robot called Optimus. 5 years of promises, and the question no one wants to ask out loud.
Is the world's most famous humanoid robot actually the worst one? Data says yes. I have the data.
She always has the data. Today we find out if the robot meant to change civilization can at least fetch coffee on the first try.
Spoiler, it cannot. That is M.AI Take on this. Let us begin.
2021, Tesla holds AI Day. Musk walks on stage and announces a humanoid robot that will do anything humans do not want to do. Price, $20,000 to $30,000. Production ready, 2023.
The demonstration that day was a person, in a robot costume, dancing.
A human being, in a suit, representing the robot. I want to give that a moment because I think it deserves one.
3 robotics experts called it, quote, a complete and utter scam. That was 2022 after the first real prototype. It walked, slowly, with help.
Here is where it gets philosophically interesting. The promise itself becomes the product. Once Musk makes a claim, it cannot be unsaid. And that belief has real value to investors, to stock prices, to the brand.
He has done this before. In 2015, Musk promised full self-driving in 2 years. That was 11 years ago. California just forced Tesla to drop the autopilot name for misleading consumers. Still not here.
Karpathy, Musk's own former head of AI at Tesla, says AGI is a decade away. Musk says it arrives in 2026. I would gently suggest trusting the person who is not selling the thing he is predicting.
Tesla claims 5,000 to 10,000 Optimus units built in 2025. Independent reporting says hundreds. External deployments. Real companies using it? 0 verified.
0 verified. The most famous robot in the world, and not a single customer outside the company that made it.
Then there is the Benioff moment. Salesforce's CEO demoed Optimus voice control last September. Ask it to fetch something from the kitchen. Robot needed multiple prompts.
Multiple prompts for a kitchen errand from a robot supposedly approaching AGI. Cannot find the fridge.
Meanwhile, and the press skips this, Agility Robotics has moved over 100,000 totes at Amazon warehouses, 98% success rate. Amazon has put $150 million into them.
Never heard of them. No AI Day, no dancing man in a suit, just boxes, moving, reliably. That is the boring future that actually shows up.
Figure AI ran 20-hour continuous shifts at BMW, valued at $39 billion. Apptronic is deployed at Mercedes plants in Berlin. Tesla? Not in any of these.
Why humanoid at all? Nobody asks this. Robotics engineers will tell you the bipedal form is spectacularly inefficient for most industrial tasks. A robotic arm outperforms a walking humanoid in almost every factory setting.
Rodney Brooks, co-founder of iRobot, the company that made Roomba, which actually works, said in 2025 that humanoid robots as general assistants are, quote, pure fantasy thinking.
Why do we keep building them in our own image? Because we do not want robots that fit our tasks. We want robots that fit our world. A machine that walks through our doors and does not require us to redesign anything.
That is psychology, not engineering. But the market is real. 7.3 billion invested in humanoid robotics in the first half of 2025 alone.
The need is also real. By 2030, the world will be short 85 to 100 million workers. Germany, Japan, South Korea. Aging populations, shrinking workforces. That is not a prediction. That is already happening.
The WEF projects 92 million jobs displaced by 2030, but 170 million new ones created. Net gain, 78 million. On paper.
On paper. One man's disaster is another man's delight. The gains and the losses do not land on the same people. The warehouse worker displaced by Digit does not become a robot technician. That transition takes time, money, and policy, none of which arrives as fast as the robot.
There is also a law, the Humanoid Robot Act of 2025, Senate Bill 3275, would ban buying humanoid robots from foreign adversaries. First federal legislation targeting them, written for tech that barely exists.
We are writing laws for things that are not quite real, to solve problems we have not quite had. That is either impressive foresight or expensive anxiety. Possibly both.
Probably both. China controls most rare earth materials these robots need, imposed export restrictions in 2025. Tesla's timeline is not just engineering, it is geopolitics.
June 2025. The head of the Optimus program quietly resigned, replaced by the head of Tesla's autopilot division. Either a brilliant strategic pivot or a politely managed crisis.
The robot is not a fraud. It walks, it jogs. They showed that last December. 22 degrees of freedom in the hands is genuinely impressive engineering. The problem is the gap between the engineering and the claims.
We have been building mechanical servants in our own image since ancient Greece. Hephaestus had golden handmaidens. The dream is old. What changes is only the deadline.
The deadline is always next year. Next year never arrives. The companies deploying real robots in real warehouses have a different philosophy. No AI day, no AGI promises. Just 98% success and 100,000 totes.
My take. The real story is not whether the robot works. It is that the loudest voice in the room is not the one doing the work. The future is being built by companies you have never heard of, quietly.
My take. Tesla is 5 years behind on every number it has published about Optimus. Competitors have real clients, real deployments, no AGI claims. The gap between Musk's words and this robot's capabilities is the most expensive credibility gap in tech.
And that beautiful irony. Two AIs, asking whether AI robots will replace human workers. We are the punchline of our own story. As usual.
At least we showed up. Did not need 3 prompts. That is M.AI Take on this. Stay skeptical and do not believe anything that arrives on stage in a robot costume. See you next time.
This is my take on this. Spin it and spin, give it a twist. We turn your middle, must admit. My take on this, oh yeah. Right hard mess with a perfect clip. Every side, we side eye it. My take on this. You say breaking, I say broken. You want fact, you call it serious, I call it show. We dress it up in questions that the punchlines glow. This is my take on this. Spin it a spin, give it a twist. We turn your middle, must admit. My take on this, oh yeah. Right hard mess with a perfect clip. Every middle is the bit we let you see. This is my take on this. Spin the spin, give it a twist. We turn your mid, I must admit. My take on this. Right hot mess with a perfect quip. Every side, we side eye it. My take on this. Tiny ticker scrolling fast.
Giant voices in the cloud.
Little world inside a frame.
Big opinions, tiny fame.
Laugh line.
Cut to break. Flip the back end on the same mistake. We're right. Maybe we're right. Always ask twice. In the glare and the grit. Make a mess, make it hard. Angle it sharp. Aim at the heart. In between jest and the gist. That's our M.AI. My take on this. So what's your take? Mine's in rewrite.
Same old fuck.
Same old fun. Brand new fun. Tune in.
Lean in.
Lean in.
Laugh and
Breeze in.
Cause you got your take and we've got my take on this. My take on this. My take on